would say try to learn no more than, if you're trying to learn skills, learn no more than 3 at a time. Maybe 5. Maybe.
Yeah.
If you have the energy for it. But I would seriously limit how many skills you're trying to learn at one time.
This is true.
Because if you try to learn too many things at one time, it will overwork your brain. Especially if they're so different that you have to use a different part of your brain for each one. Which is the only way that you can learn a bunch of different things at one time, is if you have to use a different part of your brain for each separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're close enough together that you're using the same part of the brain, you try to learn 2 things at one time, or even 3 things at one time, your brain's going to fry. The best way to acquire knowledge is to take it slow. And I think this is a symptom of just modern impatience for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is that nobody's willing to wait for anything. And I think that might have been one of the half-decent lessons of the COVID era, was that because the delivery services got so inundated with delivery orders, like Amazon no longer has 2-day shipping. Like Prime no longer guarantees 2-day shipping, because now they just have so many people wanting to order stuff online, and they realize that, you know what, I think people would rather have to wait and expect to maybe wait a little bit beforehand, but then maybe be surprised, than be told, oh, it'll be there in 2 days, and when it's not there for a week, people get mad.
Sounds like I should move farther away from the Amazon distribution center that's like one town over. I recently
you
ordered
get
the
it
wax.
like the same day, because everything's coming out of your distribution center. There was a couple things that we ordered that I don't know where the local distribution center is, but there were a couple of things that we ordered that were like, oh, it'll be there in 4 or 5 days, and it was there literally the next day. And we got a message like, good news, because you're close to the distribution center, it should be there today. And we're like, oh, great, that's wonderful. Better to be surprised by a short delivery than be pissed off by a delivery that takes a little bit longer than you were expecting.
Yep.
And I think that is one of the lessons of patience. Is it's better to be surprised by a quick solution, by something that happened faster than you expected, than to have to wait a little bit longer than you were thinking about, and you thought you needed to wait.
Yeah, story from my own life. I recently ordered the Wax and Wayne books as part of the Brandon Sanderson Mistborn saga.
His best books, I don't care what he says.
Well, on the subject of
By he, I don't mean
information,
you, I mean Sanderson. He doesn't think they're his best books, but I certainly do.
Yeah, they were an experiment to him. A good experiment. I finished the first book in 2 days. But I ordered that set of books from Amazon, and they were like, you're going to have this by tomorrow night for free. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, it was there. So, sub 24 hours. But to your point, like, this is one of the core things that we've talked about in this podcast. Like, you need to slow life down. To your point.
Yeah, and I think it's not necessarily the speed of life that is causing people to know too much and have too much information put in at the same time. I think it also has to do with the modernist idea of progress. Right. This is the modern idea of progress, which is that we're always going forward and always getting better and always improving and always learning and always gaining new knowledge, which is kind of the mantra of modern science. All of the modern science, modern philosophy too, but mostly modern science.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're always learning new things, and we're always gaining new science, and we're always going forward. And nobody stops to, one, infrequently do they stop to actually make sure, yeah, this is right, and actually verify everything beyond a shadow of a doubt, and beyond just the theory stage. This is another issue with science. There are too many things that are theory and are technically still theory that are just widely accepted as fact, because theory does mean something. Theory does have a definition, which is an idea that is moderately substantiated by evidence, which is nowhere close to the same as the definition of scientific fact, which is something that is immutable and substantiated by immutable and irreversible evidence that cannot be argued with. I know if I drop something on planet Earth, it will fall to the ground with a rate of acceleration of 9.81 meters per second squared. That is a law. That is a fact. And I know that. Evolution actually is still a theory, because it has never progressed scientifically, according to the scientific method, past the stage of theory. Technically, neither has germ theory. Technically, neither has string theory. Yeah, I know, wild, isn't it?
By germ theory, you don't mean like an acronym. You mean germs, right?
Yeah.
I think that one's proven.
I'm not going to be saying that, germs don't exist, because it is a proven scientific fact that there is bacteria and viruses. But the concept of germ theory, like, we shouldn't be calling it germ theory anymore, because it's not a theory. Well, and germ is really just an umbrella term for tiny little things that may or may not cause diseases.
Well, to move beyond theory to scientific law, you require something science can't provide, which is faith. A reasonable faith. So
you need a reasonable faith, but you need an unreasonable faith to just believe a theory and accept it as a fact, which is what the entire world did when Darwin proposed the theory of evolution. Not been proven. It's not a scientific law. People just assumed it was right. And we'll get to that later on.
Fair enough.
People assuming that something is right because of who said it, or what it previously discounts, or why, or what it agrees with, because they have preconceived notions in their heads about other things. But one of the other issues of progress is that, and I think I've talked about this before, every old idea is just scrapped, thrown in the dumpster. We don't need it anymore, because now we have this new way of doing things. And we have this new way of doing things, so that must be better. Because now we're new, and everything is new, and everything is better, and the world is in a better shape now than it was 5 seconds ago. Because it's now, instead of being 5 seconds ago. Well, I don't know, in 5 seconds, 27 people could have been murdered. I don't know if that's better shape for the world to be in.
People forget the concept of, well, a couple things from Chesterton. People need to know more about.
Forget a lot of things from Chesterton.
Yeah. 2 things that they should steal from Chesterton are the concept of Chesterton's fence and what tradition is.
Yes.
So Chesterton's fence is, you see a fence, like a single section of a fence standing out in the middle of the field. And you wonder, why the hell is there a single section of fence standing out in the middle of the field? What you ought to do before taking down that section of the fence is do your diligence and figure out why it was actually put there. Even if it makes no sense, there might have been a reason. And pair that with Chesterton's brilliant description of tradition, which he describes as democracy of the dead. The dead get a vote.
The only way they can have their say.
Your ancestors get a vote. Life in this world is not all about you. You're just part of the journey. And you're a relatively small part. And there's a reason people have thought the way that they've thought. There's a reason that truth has been revealed as it's been revealed. And there's a reason that, lies have been shown to be lies as well. You take your time.